Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Perth Sevens. This one, a playoff game. Whoever wins this does finish ninth. Samoa versus New Zealand. Now, these two sides have already met in the Perth Sevens. In that game, it went to golden point and New Zealand got themselves the victory. So one thing is for sure, if it's anything like the past matches we have seen between these two teams, it will be extremely close and also extremely entertaining. In the starting lineup for Samoa, it will be Manu Samoa, Neoli Letufia, also Malani Matavao, Valvasa Apasua, Motu Opitai, Alizapita Alofipo, and Taunuu. No Levi for the Kiwis. It is Piniana Norfo, Cody Vai, Leroy Carter, Regan Weir, Akuria Rokali Soa, Sam Dixon, and Scott Curry. Now, I can only apologise for the way that my voice sounds at the moment. This is the result of doing a lot of commentary over the last 3 or so days. The vocal cords are really feeling it, but hopefully it will last and hopefully it warms up as we get through a few more of these matches. Currently, we are just waiting for the 9th place playoff game to finish between Brazil and South Africa. Currently, Brazil have got themselves a little bit of a lead in that contest. But like I mentioned, this game last time it took place, it was a part of Pool C. Now, both these sides did miss out on the quarterfinals. New Zealand finished 3rd in the group. Samoa finished 4th. But because neither of the teams were in the best 3rd place position, or the top 2 3rd place positions across the 3 pools in the competition, it means that they did end up missing out. We have got S. Lesser has said, let's go Samoa. Now, of course, I should mention we have still got the semi-finals, ladies and gentlemen, coming up in the very near future, one of which being Ireland versus Argentina, the other match being Fiji versus the host nations, Australia. There should be plenty of action still to come on the 7th circuit. The final, when it does take place, it will be later on tonight, and that will be happening at 10:53 p.m. New Zealand time, and the 3rd place playoff game at 9:40 p.m. New Zealand time. So not too bad of a finish in terms of the time that these will be coming to a close. There have been times where we've covered the 7th circuit and it's been a 7 a.m. final. We've stayed up all night covering it. But this one, to be honest, it could have been the final if both of the sides had taken their opportunity. Samoa, they have played 4 matches and none of those 4 games have been separated by more than 7 points. So it tells you they know how to keep a game close. Unfortunately, though, only a 25% win rate of those games being within these 7 points. So far, their biggest losing margin was to the Fijians in the opening contest of the Sevens competition in Perth. That won 14 points to 7. New Zealand actually also losing their first game of the Sevens comp. That was in the match head-to-head when they were up against none other than the French. Only 45 seconds remaining in the match between South Africa and Brazil. This one, it is going to be, like I said, very entertaining and very intriguing to see who can get themselves the win here. I should mention Samoa, I believe at the moment, they were able to beat New Zealand the game prior. So we've actually found ourselves in a bit of a 1-1 situation. This could be a bit of a decider between these two teams. New Zealand having a tough game in their playoff match for this 9th place position, having a close game with Canada. Samoa having a close game with Great Britain, but picking up their first win of the Perth Sevens competition. And once again, for anyone who doesn't know, these starting lineups, Manu Samoa, Neoli Letufia, Malani Matavao, Valvasa Apasua. So the captain is in the starting lineup here for Samoa. Motu Opitai, Alizapita Alofipo, and also Taunuu. No Levi for New Zealand, Whinia Norfo, Cody Vai, Leroy Carter, Regan Weir, Kulia Rokali Soa, Sam Dixon, and Scott Curry. So a lot of experience in terms of New Zealand's lineup. The fact that they've gone with Regan Weir, Dixon, and Curry. They haven't got Tim Mickelson, but he will instead be coming off the bench. I should mention for the Samoans, they have not gone with Fa'afoi Falaniko in their starting lineup. Also a few other very handy players to make their way onto the field later on in this matchup to have a bit more of a super sub kind of role. Looks like Brazil, they will actually pick up that victory over the South Africans. So they finished 9th in the women's competition So now that opens up the door for, of course, these two sides to find out who will finish ninth in the men's side of the draw as well. I'm very excited. Samoa have had a pretty solid Cape Town Sevens competition, Perth Sevens competition. Like I said, they've kept their games close. They just haven't quite been able to convert it into the big wins. But now up against New Zealand, some would say that for Samoa, they don't come much bigger than a match up against the Kiwis if they do pull off the victory, of course, in the Cape Town Sevens final for 2022. It was, in fact, Samoa beating New Zealand when it was pouring down with rain in Cape Town. But now both sides are about to make their way onto the field. Samoa in their classic blue kit. New Zealand, of course, wearing the black. Sam Dixon, they are just showing him making his way out onto the field. They have just mentioned that New Zealand, they are actually the defending champions of the Australian Sevens. Of course, this is the first time we have seen them play in Perth, but Sam Dixon 2 tries away from his 100th career try from 69 tournaments. Could he get a double here up against the Samoans? I think Alofipo is going to be the quiet workhorse. And this one, what's dependent for the quarterfinal draw, says Sahil. So we have had the quarterfinals, semi-finals now. They will be Ireland versus Argentina. And the other matchup is Fiji versus Australia. So this is the final match for these two sides, playing off for 9th place. And Samoa games are always close, but never come out on top. Says Loki. They get very close though, like you said. So sometimes they can get the better of the final moments. It's more about starting well, I think, for Samoa. And a lot of their games, they've been chasing the contest, and then they manage to find a bit of a comeback, but they don't quite get enough points at the end. But a big kickoff from New Zealand, going to only 5 metres out from Samoa's line. Nicely cleaned up here. 5 metres out from their own try line. And there was a knock-on from the Samoans. New Zealand have managed to turn the ball over, though. They've got the knock-on advantage. Regan Ware now back to his feet. 2 metres out from the try line. Vavas Apasua gets a clean turnover. So we'll now be back on the side of Manu Samoa, only 10 metres out from their try line. Malani Matavao will play halfback now. Looks like Letufia will just put the boot to ball, trying to get as many metres as he can. It's gone straight into the hands of Akulia Rokalisoa, who is only sitting about 25 metres out from the Samoan line now. Leroy Carter dropped hard to the turf by Motu Opitai. Now, almost through for Sam Dixon. I mentioned he is too short of being able to bring up his 100th on the short side. Vavasa Apasua now going to be racing with Cody Vai. Does manage to get the wide slinging pass to the left-hand side space here for Samoa. Taununa Ulivai wrestled down there by Akulia Rokalisoa, and it will actually be the high tackle, so penalty goes the way of Samoa. Letufia now off to the right-hand side to Vavasa Apasua, almost through the gap, but Scott Curry is able to stop him again. Motu Opitai looking for the risky offload. A lot of pressure being put on him by Akulia Rokalisoa, but good phase play at the moment for Samoa. Not willing to give that ball back. Trying to go for the chip in behind. It has actually fallen straight into the hands of New Zealand, who are now back in position. Only 2 minutes into this contest. Unforced error and rare error there from Akulia Rokalisoa. The man was charging at him, and perhaps just that little bit of hesitation has led to Akulia Rokalisoa putting that ball down here. Tried to find that next pass, but had Yuna Sione charging straight at him. Would make any man panic just that little bit. We're going to have to drink a lot of water today, or else the voice is going to completely go, unfortunately. But I was talking about it yesterday. We've probably done about 30 hours of live streaming throughout the last 3 days. So I can understand why the voice is struggling just a little bit. But going off to the right-hand side now. Nice stepping from Malani Matavao. Gets the offload away to Motu Opitai. Another offload. Yona Sione. I can tell already that Samoa's tactic is to not allow this ball to go to the ground, because as soon as it does, there is a chance that New Zealand could steal it. But Alofipo with the chip and chase, it's set up for him perfectly. And he will now get the try for the Samoans, his 6th of 2024 and his 3rd in the Perth Sevens. You're doing awesome, says S. Lesser. Thank you very much. Alofipo, I mentioned how he was going to be one of the keys for Samoa He's got that chip and chase absolutely to perfection. Goes over the top of Regan Ware with it. And then Cody Vi, the bounce of the ball favoured Alofipo. Vi maybe following it a little bit too casually and did get caught out. Alofipo scores and Samoa take the lead, and that is exactly what I said they needed to do. They need a good start here because we saw New Zealand in the game up against France when New Zealand were down by quite a large margin. They weren't able to get back into the contest, and France slowly kept on continuing their lead. Next try has to go to Samoa if they want to win this game. They allow New Zealand back into the contest, then she could go down to the wire once again. Cody Vi taking that one nicely. I think he got a slap on the back of the head from Motu Opitai as he was landing. He's just made about 20 metres, but it's been stolen by Niueli Letufia. Gets away to Taunuu. Nauli Vi off to the right-hand side now. Quick hands, Vavasa Apasua trying to break his way through. And it's stolen in the breakdown from Sam Dixon. New Zealand, that is exactly why Samoa don't want to go to those breakdowns, because they can steal it in an instant. Nice run forward from Cody Vi. Almost another little knock on there from Akulia Rokalesoa. The referee says play on. Finds the offload up to Leroy Carter. Was just jogging at this stage, trying to find that next pass. Gets it out to Regan Ware, who's in a foot race, and he wins it. Outpaces Nolevaya, and it will be another try, this time going the way of New Zealand. And still 2 minutes remaining in this first half. We must remember, when these two sides played off in the group stages, the first half of the contest, it went 10 minutes. And that was a brutal one. Then they went to golden point time. That went for an extra 5 minutes. So these sides, they certainly have spent plenty of time out there on the field playing off against each other. And with that, you learn the opposition's skills, you learn their weaknesses. And New Zealand, they saw an opportunity to go wide round the outside of Nuulivai, and they certainly took it there. And the kick is now good from Rokalesoa, so it does make the score 7-all between these two sides. Leroy Carter to Regan Ware at the moment for New Zealand. That is the second most common way that they have been able to score tries when it comes to the assist department. Letufia going across to the left-hand side. Yonasi Oni in the midfield, taken down by Leroy Carter, who gets onto the ball, but the player was ahead, that being Rokalesoa, so they have been penalised there. New Zealand now Letufia trying to test out his speed. Bounce pass goes to Nuulivai, goes over the head to Yonasi Oni, who does not decide to take on that wide channel. Instead, cuts it up the middle. Big shot on Malani Matavao. Got the offload away to Sam Dixon, or away from Sam Dixon. Vavasa Apasoa to the left. Another quick shot coming in from Leroy Carter. Yonasioni trying to break his way through. Loose ball picked up by Leroy Carter. Shoved straight back to the Samoans. And Motu Opitai has taken it here. Now to the right, and it's a knock on from Samoa. Come on, Samoa, let's go. Says Simran there. At the moment, working extremely hard in this contest, both sides, but the loose balls, I have to say, have slightly created the advantage for New Zealand. Like they'll see it, when it doesn't go your way, it doesn't go your way, and unfortunately that ball was not sticking to the hands of Yonasioni. Look at there, the Samoan flags from East Lesser and their chat as well. Now ball to be fed in by Akulia Rokalesoa. Thought about selling the dummy, but he will go himself now to this right-hand side. Another pass out wide to Kodivai. And almost on that, Malani Matavao. He does win the penalty, and Samoa and New Zealand have similar mistakes. They actually do, yeah. And the way that they play, Matavao took the quick tap and was going to kick that ball into touch. And then I believe one of his teammates said, nah, we're going. And this is now going to either backfire for Samoa. Okay, Alafipo's running backwards now. Maybe they will put this ball into touch very soon. Taken down well by Whirinan Orfo. Got himself 2 tries in that last game for New Zealand up against Canada. That is what got them to this stage of the competition. Wide cut out pass. Malani Matavao tackled by Scott Curry. Now Nuulivai also taken down by Curry. Dixon on the ball, and Dixon, He was going to have the turnover. I think it's going to be New Zealand's ball here. Has come out the back. So Samoa, maybe they did make that mistake by trying to take that quick tap and not putting the ball into touch. They could have accepted 7-all. Oh, I am a channel member. Oh, you might have got the gifted membership from Robert yesterday, Novmum. If that is the case. Rakulia Rokalisoa. Now a nice step coming. Backwards, Samoa have got that turnover, but Scott Curry on the ball. His hands were down, and the penalty now goes the way of Samoa. He actually also threw that ball a little bit away, Scott Curry. Have almost ended up with that yellow card. And now Samoa, another decision here. Do they go for the quick tap and put it into touch, or do they attack now? I think that they've got to throw all their eggs in one basket and go for it, and that is what we're going to see from the Samoans. Great birthday present for me, says Novmum. Yeah, of course, you're late January, aren't you, with your birthday? Very slow walking to the line out here for the Samoan. Sounds like Paul Scanlon is about to make his way onto the field. And should be a yellow card to Scott Curry. If the rest are consistent, says Mus. I think the only thing that slightly saved him was the fact that it got caught on the Samoan player's body. So he didn't cleanly rip it back, if that makes sense. But yeah, it could have easily been a yellow. But I think because the ref was still explaining to him why it was a penalty, meant that he also didn't get one. I think Argentina or Fiji can win this tournament. Now, I can't quite remember, but I think I predicted it to be... Did I predict a Fiji-Argentina final in the Rugby Recap podcast? I know I predicted Fiji to be in the final. But I think I predicted Argentina to win. It's going to be kicked downfield now. Curry having a chase after it. He's been attacked on the ground by Paul Scanlon. It should be a penalty to him, but instead it is going to be a knock-on, and that will be the end of the half. Yes, it is today, another year close to the half century, says Nomum. So hopefully you do enjoy all of the rugby and cricketing action that is going to be taking place on your birthday. Of course, plenty coming up. I should mention that the cricket is currently live. West Indies versus Australia. We will be covering the second half, or in fact, we will be covering that cricket from about 25 minutes time. In fact, less than that, about 15 minutes time from when we are starting our cricketing stream. But anyone who is new, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. This may be the last game for these two sides of the Perth Sevens, but they will be back next leg. Going to be an entertaining one. And I just hope that they both end up in decent pools. At the moment, Samoa always ending up in New Zealand or Fiji's grouping, making it extremely hard for Samoa to go far. I honestly think if you stuck them in Pool B for this competition, they would have made their way through to the quarterfinals. Same probably could have been said about New Zealand. Although saying that, Pool B actually has two semi-finalists. To be honest, All Blacks are better than the Sevens team, says Mr. Bravestone. But to be honest, as they should be. You know, at the end of the day, they have got a lot more funding. They've got a lot more players to pick from. They've been a side established for a lot longer. But, I mean, the New Zealand Sevens, they've still had their ups and downs. They've currently had 8 injuries on the list for the male side. So they've had a whole team taken out pretty much due to the injuries that they have sustained. Why they keep putting all the South Pacific in one pool? I think it's to do with where you finish the league prior. And unfortunately, they all end up perfectly spacing themselves out so that they do end up in that same group. So it's not like something that's rigged to try and put them all in the same grouping. It's just the fact that, sadly, they just end up in the same group due to the way that the pools are laid out. Now just showing there the semi-final of the men's competition, Ireland versus Argentina. That will be taking place in only 1 hour's time. Very close, and we are covering that one on the channel, as well as Fiji versus Australia, the match that is coming straight after. But the second half of this match between New Zealand and Samoa is just about to get underway. Whistle has been blown. This time it will be Samoa kicking off from left to right. This is for 9th place in the Perth Sevens. It is kicked off. It is straight into touch from Samoa. That is the last thing that they want right at the start of a second half period. It's when they needed to try and really put that pressure on New Zealand. I can understand what the tactic was, trying to kick it high and try and get it out wide, maybe slap it back. Poorly executed from the Samoans there. And now New Zealand have now got themselves the scrum on the halfway line. 6.5 minutes remaining in this game though, and we are unchanged in the score department, 7 points to 7. One of these two sides will be walking away with a victory. These two sides also though could find themselves going to golden point time. If it is a draw at the end of 14 minutes, we will be going to golden point time. But New Zealand now going to the short side. Akulia Rokalisoa sells the dummy. He is through. And that will now be the try for New Zealand. Just cut the defence open. Takes it upon himself, the Akulia Rokalisoa, to get it between the posts. And now, that is actually, believe it or not, his first try of this competition. So they have played 4 other matches, but Akulia Rokalisoa has not crossed the try line in any of this said matches. And pretty close to so, says Naz Williams. It certainly is, although that kick from the New Zealanders now gives them the 14 points to 7 lead. It's over for Samoa. Too easy a try. Samoa done. Says Moose and Brady Rush and Joe Weber are not injured, but still they didn't make it. Oh, I think Joe Weber is. According to the New Zealand Sevens Facebook, they said that he was in the injury list. I know that Tony Nashu, Kitioni Vai, the list goes on, to be honest. There's like about 8 of them. Who else we got? Dylan Collier, I think. No, he might be there at the moment. New Stubbs injured. Orman's injured. Big run forward down the wing now. 5 minutes is plenty of time to come back. He's got like 3 tries in that time. Says no, I'm exactly right. But the next try of this match definitely does need to be scored by the Samoans if they do want to walk away with the victory. Grub it in behind from Alofipo. In Australia versus West Indies, says ran deep. We are picking up the coverage straight after this game for that test match. It's going back for the original penalty, double blow of the whistle, and New Zealand now will be playing with 6 men on the field. Sam Dixon taken off the park now for the next 2 minutes. Massive opportunity here for the Samoans. 4.5 minutes remaining. Yeah, currently I can tell you that Australia have scored, I believe it is 6 runs since the start of day 4. But they have not lost a wicket as of yet. Most recent over bowled was a maiden from Roach. Yeah, we will be picking up straight after this game is over. Now it is going to be the scrum now for the Samoans, 22 metres out from the try line. Time is on. So this is actually going to use up a lot of Sam Dixon's remaining yellow card time and also take about a minute out of the game. Oh no, now time has been turned off. Who do you think will win the Olympic Sevens? I mean, it's always hard not to back Fiji, mainly because of what they are able to do when it matters the most, which is that Olympic qualification / the, I guess, group stage matches. They always manage to put in a good showing, but you know, South Africa could be in with a hunt. Argentina, to be honest, are looking phenomenal at the moment. If New Zealand wins what happens, they finish 9th. Not over yet. Samoa still have a chance. They certainly do. Now, nice stepping in the midfield. Motu Opitai look for the offload, but it is going to be the knock-on from him. And New Zealand defending just out from their own goal line. Just managing to hang on. Hello, Hamish, bro. There's Michelle. Welcome in. And nice bit of stepping there from Motu Opitai, but it was Narohi Makavi's black arm that slapped the ball out of the hands. Oh, he did bad, says PSG. And yeah, it will be the last game for these two sides of the Perth Sevens competition. So they want to finish on a high. And at the moment, New Zealand, they are ahead by just the 7 points. Time has been turned back on, and too many errors from Samoa that are killer, especially the unforced one, says Moose. Yeah, unfortunately, handling errors. In a game of sevens, you just don't have enough time to get back into it if you do consistently drop the ball. I think that Samoa have had about 4 handling errors so far in this contest. Now, New Zealand have had, I'd say, 2 so far, but oh, nice work over the ball. Samoa win the penalty. Now, quick get taken by Iona Sioni, who goes away to the left-hand side. Samoa have plenty of numbers on the outside. Can they use them? Scanlon Shaw, Portala Fipo, one more on the outside. And the referee's been taken out. Fafoi Falaniko will score the try. And not even the referee was safe at that stage. And Irish Pro Super Smash T20 League final today, Canterbury versus Auckland right now. Says Michelle, so yeah, there's certainly a lot of sport happening in the next kind of 24 hours or so. Also, they're saying Yonisioni, he came in through the side, says Carl Tanana, so feels that it could have actually been a penalty to New Zealand. Discipline not always been the Pacific Island team's strength, but improved heaps, says Nars Williams there. Now the referee eating a massive hit there. Leroy Carter was actually the man who took him down. Out of everyone for the New Zealanders who would have taken out the ref, Leroy Carter would have been the most likely to. But Samoa, they get their kick over, and now the score sits 14-14 in this contest. Still plenty of chances remaining, though, for these two sides to be able to walk away with the victory. It is kicked off, and New Zealand have now got the ball. Can't reiterate enough, these two sides went to golden point time only 2 days ago. Whinia Norfolk keeping the ball in the field of play. Knock on there from New Zealand, and Samoa have got themselves the scrum. Canterbury 80. Oh, it's become a penalty. Player actually offside for New Zealand. This time it has gone against Nauroi McCarvey Black. New Zealand thought if they took out the ref, he could not award the try. Says Musa, I mean, it's a tactic that we haven't seen too often in a game of sevens, but I mean, have to say, it probably won't catch on. Oh, it's kicked downfield. That one stayed in the field of play casually. Jogging back there was Tapaya Cook Savage. And now New Zealand avoiding the possibility of a Samoan attack. I should mention about 6 penalties in a row here going against New Zealand. Whinia Norfolk, after getting his double in the last game, need more of it, you reckon? That is now going to be the penalty to New Zealand, the first against Samoa of this contest. So it's been an ill-disciplined New Zealand versus a error-riddled Samoan team. Kicking this one downfield for Tapaya Cook Savage. The ball stays in the field of play. Oh, sorry, no, it doesn't. It went really far into touch. So now, another line-out chance. Like they're saying, is there a chance of a winner, or are we going to golden point time again between these two sides? Whinia Norfolk gets it across. There have been so many times that New Zealand have scored a last-minute try to crush Samoa's dreams. Can Samoa this time be the side to get a little bit of their own back? McGarvey Black having to run backwards here. Now looking for that next pass. It will be Tapaya Cook Savage to Leroy Carter off to Scott Curry. Taken down by Yonisioni, who was crawling on the ground, so probably lucky not to get penalised, but Samoa need to score. Says Moose, and Mickelson through. He's gone, the veteran. That will be another last-minute try for New Zealand to steal the victory in what could have been the jaws of defeat. New Zealand will win this game 21 points to 21 points to 14. Now my prediction in my preview, I predicted New Zealand would win this game 19 points to 14. So I was very close again to getting the prediction right. We've actually been doing the best that we ever have with predictions when it comes to this leg of the Sevens. But we will be back for the 2 semi-finals in about 40 minutes time, ladies and gentlemen. We are also going over to our next live stream now, which is West Indies versus Australia. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all for the next one.